being a good editor isn't enough. Hell, being a great editor isn't even enough. And 9 times out of 10, if you're watching this video, you're already a good or great editor. But what you've realized is you want and or need to be a faster editor. Because the more you can keep off of your editing plate, the more you can stay out in the field, shooting and creating. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 5 of the best tips that will help you increase your editing by at least 50%. And stay until the end because there's actually a bonus tip that, though it isn't part of the editing process, it will still affect how fast you are producing edits. Number 5 is such a basic thing that everyone should know, but don't practice, so it still made the list. And that is turn off your cell phone. Now, I know you've heard this before, but I'm gonna give you some data that I know will be the first time you hear, at least most of you. There's a study that showed that on average, people check their phones 58 times per day. 52% of phone checks occur when we're working. That's 30 times in an 8-hour window where most people spend 1 to 2 minutes each phone check. So if you do the math, that's 30 minutes to an hour of editing time that you're losing per session. That's 2.5 hours to 5 hours you're losing per week. So cut the phone out as well as any other distraction that pulls you away from your edit. Now coming in at number 4 is a bittersweet tip because I actually don't follow this one myself. And I'll actually tell you exactly why I don't later. But nonetheless, it will still change the game for your editing time. When people edit, including myself, they go back and watch their edit over and over and over again as they add to the video. Now, there actually is a benefit to this, but in terms of speed, that does double to triple the amount of time that you spend on each edit. So by simply opting to edit all the way through and save your viewing for adjustments until the end, you can knock out an edit if not 3 times, 2 times faster. Now, from here, the tips are super valuable. Number 3 is about deleting unwanted space. So if you're like me, sometimes when you're cutting through your B-roll, once you're done, you're left with all these empty spaces on the timeline. What a lot of people do is they go through dragging each clip over to the next, but that can waste a ton of time. A faster solution would be to instead click on the empty space and hit the delete button. Saving a little more time, you could even do this as you're going through cutting out the things that you don't want. But what if I told you that this is even a waste of time? Because there's an even faster way. After you cut out your selects, instead of going through and hitting delete on every empty space, instead, you should cut through and get all of your selects. And when you're done, then go up to sequence and scroll down to close gap. What this does is it automatically closes every gap in a click, in an instant. Click, clack, boom. All right, moving on to number 2. This one could have easily taken the number 1 spot as well, as I recently discovered this one myself. And I'm betting most of you look at it, but don't even realize it's there. But before I point out what this is, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. It helps me continue making content like this. And also hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of my new videos and giveaways. All right, so number 2 is using the grab video, grab audio feature. So most people drag their clips onto the timeline. And when it's B-roll, they have to unlink the video from the audio and then delete the audio. May not seem like it eats up a lot of time, but when you have 50 or 100 or even 200 B-roll shots, that time adds up. You could mute a track and let your B-roll be dedicated to that track, but you still then have to shift other audio to a different track and then thus run the risk of having an accident. Having something on the muted track that shouldn't be or vice versa, you could make a mistake. So instead, double click the clip, find the section you want in the source window, and once you have it selected, hover over this icon which will say drag video only, grab it and drag, and you'll only add the video itself, not the audio. This works vice versa as well. If you have a video where you're wanting the sound, just hover over drag audio only and drag from there. Now last but certainly not least, this tip really could have its own video entirely, and that is using short keys or aka shortcuts. So when we want to cut or mark in or out or use any tool in general, we have buttons that we hit here. But there are literally keys that you can hit on your keyboard to switch or use a feature instead of dragging your mouse over a button and clicking it every time. There are millions of shortcut keys, not literally. I'm gonna name some of the most helpful and used ones that I know. So to switch to your blade to cut a clip, just hit C. And when you want to go back to your mouse, hit V. It's crazy how much time that simple thing will save. A rare one that many don't know about is using Command I, which will separate the video from audio, or in reverse, link the video and audio. S turns the snap feature on and off, which, by the way, used to piss me off because I was accidentally hitting it and not understanding what made the snap tool turn off. For when you set an in and out point, instead of hitting its buttons, you can use I for in or O for out. If you make a mistake, Command Z is undo. You didn't want to undo, you can use Command Shift Z for redo. And like I said, these are some simple ones that, you know, some know, some don't. There are several other short keys that can make you even faster. And all you have to do to find out what they are is go to the Premiere tab and scroll down to keyboard shortcuts, which ironically even has a shortcut. Option Command K. Once this layout opens, you can not only see all of your shortcuts, but you can even customize them however you want. Now, all of these tips that I've given you today will help you edit faster. But like I mentioned earlier, some of them I don't do, because though it produces faster edits, the quality generally takes a hit. So if getting better at editing is actually what you're wanting, then you need to check out this video here.